Okay, something a little different today. You don't have to stare at my ugly mug, but I want to share with you what arrived in my righteous mailbox from Newman Postie yesterday. It is, of course, my January Michael McLean newsletter. Sir Michael McLean, sent here to Naples. As you can see, this is what it takes to get your mail delivered. Nowadays, if it doesn't look like official mail, if it doesn't have a personal wow return address from somebody personal, I call it a wedding invitation return address, handwritten or a stamp like that. A label that's personal, handwritten is even better. And here's something we've added to our mail: documents enclosed. That's another way to trick, believe it or not, to trick the unionized Newman posties, postal workers, into not pitching hundreds and hundreds of these first-class postage into the dumpsters. You may or may not know the stories, but I've been battling Newman for the last, 20 years, reading stories of 5,000 flyers or 30,000 postcards or any bulk or commercial mail being found, dumpsters full. You hear about thousands of pieces of bulk mail, especially being found in storage containers. So I do everything I can to make sure to trick Newman into actually delivering your mail to you. I used to send up to 140,000 flyers a month in the insurance business, but that was 15, 17, 16 years ago. And then we still battled people not getting it because it appears to be junk mail. So what do some of the postal workers do? They pitch it. Meanwhile, I was paying 10 cents, 12 cents for each flyer. So it's a battle. If you're in the direct mail game like I am, these are paid newsletters. BadAZZletter.com. You're expecting this. The only way I can get this delivered to my badass brothers and sisters is to go to all this difficulty. As you can see, this is a clear plastic envelope. The reason I do that is, and let me just open this for you, is I want them to see also this. So I want them to see the cover page of the newsletter, makes them think, and it has a chance of getting opened. So I just want to go through what you've missed out this month if you are not a righteous subscriber of the Michael McLean letter. You need to be a dumb bunny to not think that a $97 investment like this, $3.24 a day, that's a cup of coffee. That's a cup of coffee. That's a muffin at Starbucks. If you don't believe that this newsletter is worth $3.24, you must be suffering from a brain injury, or you're so successful you don't need any help. So as you can see, this is not just any monthly newsletter. This is my January newsletter, which is my what? State of the Union address. So every January and February, I do a world building State of the Union address where I put together the 25 badass rules that I'm using in my life over the next year to live life and do business on my own terms. If you're not living life and doing business on your own terms presently, these 25 rules are the most powerful, the most sophisticated thing I do all year. So this is the first of 25 world building rules for kicking ass and taking names in business and life in the next year. As you can see, I go through the first 15 of these rules, all of the concepts, maxims, habits that really make a difference in my life, and just really breaking down how I'm using these 25 rules in the new year. I think there'd be some value in there with these 15 rules, my daughter's flyers, Nick Saban teachings, on and on, homeschooling, marketing from the trenches. This is a massive one. I do an entire 2 pages here on marketing from the trenches, what I'm using in my business right now, newsletters. I focus on some newsletters. And then, of course, the final thoughts, how to win the battle with your greatest enemy in 2024. That is you, by the way. Now, what I'm especially proud of is the inserts this month that you'll never see anywhere else. I actually have included a birthday letter to my wife, Krista. She had her birthday on January 17th. Who has the balls, okay, in marketing or in business to include a personal letter that I wrote to my wife on her birthday? And it's word for word. I'm not embarrassed. I'm not ashamed, but I recommend that you write letters in your righteous world to your kids, to your queen, to your employees, usually at Thanksgiving or Christmas. But I actually wanted to include this to show you what I do this year, what I did this year on my wife's birthday, word for word. Do you think that's worth a cup of coffee a day? You could start writing letters on special occasions for your queen or your children or your grandchildren. You think that would make an impact in your world? This is a physical newsletter from the great Bill Gore that's inserted. Where are you going to get access to the $45 million man? Bill has been at this a long time, since he was the #1 Allstate agent in Alabama. He's now making his way into being the #1 car wash dealer. This is a physical newsletter that he hands out to thousands of people every single month. That's included as an insert. I break that down, the entire marketing plan. Look at this cat. My daughter's coach, the great Dan Lazonis, butt whip wiping coach. And this goes into his newsletter that he sends. It's a 2-pager. It's not a 4-pager like Bill's, but it's a 2-pager, and how he writes that. Here's an article on the Winnipeg Jets and coach Rick Bowness, who's a badass. I've known Rick for a number of years. He's taken over Winnipeg and he's literally transformed that culture. I don't care about the winning and losing. I don't care about the Winnipeg Jets. I care about how do you build a world and a culture? How do you do what Jimmy Johnson did in Dallas? How do you do what Nick Saban did over 2 decades at Alabama? How do you do what Mike Krzyzewski did at Duke? How do you do what Steve Jobs did at Apple? Same thing here for Rick Bowness. It's not a hockey article. It's how to build a badass world article. And then another article here that's really one of the most powerful ones. Krista and I were reading it the other day. A family that walks together. The power of walking with your queen. The power of walking with your children, your grandchildren, your employees, your managers, anybody and everybody that's important in your life. Who did their interviews walking? Steve Jobs did. You know, great badass world builders are often walkers, and they go for aimless walks with family and friends, and it's the best connection tool they have. That's just the inserts into this badass newsletter. So if you missed out on the January edition, you're a dumb bunny, okay? You're not the smartest, you're not the sharpest knife in the drawer, as my 11-year-old daughter Emery would say. But here's the thing. You missed out big time on probably the most sophisticated and most valuable newsletter that I've ever produced in the last year and a half. But you can fix your colossal error. You can fix your embarrassing mistake, because I'm going to help you get up off the floor. So here's the deal, and I've never done this before. If you subscribe to the February Michael McLean newsletter, it's a physical newsletter, it'll come to your mailbox. If you subscribe to the Part 2 February newsletter, where I talk about the last 10 world building rules I'm using for 2024, I will include everything you see in front of you right now for free. In other words, as a free bonus for subscribing at badazzletter.coach, badazzletter.coach, not .com, the link's below, I'll include everything you see in front of you. All the physical inserts, the print newsletter, the walking insert, the Winnipeg Jets insert, Bill Gau's newsletter, Dan Lazonis' newsletter, everything. And I'll put it all together in one lumpy jumbo package when I send you the February Michael McLean letter. So you get the 2 newsletters, all of the inserts, and the February letter will be kick-ass as well. And you get to study the 25 rules in total. 15 in January and the last 10 in February. Maybe you like standing on the sidelines. Maybe you like being a bargain hunter and a cheapskate. Or maybe you think because we're in a recession that you should cut all your education expenses. That's what losers do. Winners and champions double down on their education. They double down on their education when things get tight, and they swift sword entertainment instead. You can live without the Netflix, you can live without the gaming, you can live without the gambling, you can live without the alcohol, you can live without the movies, you can live without the TV shows, you can live without the apps on your phone. But badass lions and kings double down on education. When there's a recession, when there's a depression, when things are tougher. Education stays, double down on it, entertainment, swift sword. Entertainment, curated out of your world, education, double down on. And this, my friend, is real world from the trenches education. I've got nothing more to say about this other than you must be insane to miss out on something so important in a brand new year. The ability for you to build a world where you never need to vacation, never need to escape, never need to sedate, never need to medicate, never need to hide. You simply build a world every day that allows you to live life and do business on your own terms. And this is the newsletter that helps you do it every single month for the price of a cup of coffee every day. The price of a cup of coffee every day. If you don't take me up on this 2-for-1 offer, that's $100 gift. It's $97 for this newsletter. That's $100 2-for-1 gift to get your ass going in the new year, especially if you struggled in January. Got a brand new February. Take me up on this offer at badazzletter.coach and stop living on the sidelines. Stop playing not to lose. Stop playing defense and living life on your heels, and instead subscribe and join my badass membership brotherhood and sisterhood and burn the boats and take the island. Start playing to win. Start being relentless. Start swinging for the fences. That's what your queen deserves. That's what your kids deserve. That's what your employees deserve. That's what your clients deserve. And most importantly, you get one swing at the bat. That's what you deserve. Stop hiding on the sidelines and get in the game and build the world of your dreams. It's never too late. It's never, ever too late to start building a world where you live life and you do business on your own terms. BadAZZletter.coach, 2-for-1 sale coming up in February if you join my righteous Michael McLean letter brotherhood and sisterhood today.